What's up, duelists? Today, I'm taking you guys on a journey of tilting and then switching off a deck and then tilting and then rinse and repeat. Yeah, this is gonna be a video of all time. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I know you watch more than one of my videos. A lot of you guys are returning viewers, so if you're not already subscribed, you're just missing out. You're missing out. Once again, if you guys want to play in these games against me, wait, this is not the best way to put it, but join the Discord in the description below. And if you guys want to play against me in a more proper tournament setting, come to my birthday bash with Evan at Xanadu Games on December 16th. We're doing like an Edison format tournament for my birthday, which is going to be hype, and Evan's birthday too, of course. And we are going to be just battling it out for a couple grand in Edison format. Pretty solid stuff. Hit up their socials if you want to, I'll put a thing in the comments. Check it out. Come through, come hang out, come play some Edison. So today's journey kind of starts off with me playing quick draw, because I'm like, oh, quick draw is cool. I've got a really cool build. I got the triple debris charge to make the debris live. Mystic Tomato is just another starter. Type beat, we got a cool deck here. Cool deck list. The sideboard's got a lot of cool one-of tech cards we can search off Sangan, etc. Just a sweet deck list here. We've got the Trident in the extra as well. Maybe that guy comes up. And the games start off all right. I play against Warlords, RBET topping player, very strong player. And I do win the die roll. Always lucky. Except for when I'm not, which is most of the time. So sometimes mostly not lucky, I guess. Anyway, we open up with the nuts, so we just go set hamster, set deprison pass. He's going to summon gear frame. Search fortress. I'm going to prison the fortress. Not going to prison the gear frame, obviously, because we beat this card very easily, but we don't beat this card very easily. Story of my life. Grab the Raikou. He's not going to commit further. We're just going to go Titanial. Run over the boy. Charge to try and hit Dandy, but once again, never lucky. Really, never lucky. We should have hit Dandy there. I'm going to switch the Mega Hamster to attack because I want to just race. Right now, I just want to clock him, and I want to set Mirror Force. So I attack for 1100. There's no reason to set both of these, even though there's a chance I may want to call next turn for game. Just because he still has Heavy Storm, which, as you can see, he top decked. So very lucky for me that I did not set both. Or not lucky, but calculated. He brings back the Machina Fortress. He summons Scrap Recycler. This will give him a nice draw one. This card's kind of cool. I like this card. This card I've always been impressed with every time I play it. But then I always forget to add it to my deck. He crushes with the Titanial to destroy the Titanial. I think that's fine. I probably also would have maybe considered attacking over the Mega Hamster, but then you leave the Scrap Recycler open to the Titanial, and then you also risk me milling a Dandelion and then being able to run over the Fortress. So kind of just got to clear it now. Plus this way the Scrap Recycler can trade with the Raikou, so I kind of like this play from Warlords. But we are going to keep our Hamster, and we would have milled a Dandelion, so lucky us. Well, actually we would have drawn the Dandelion, but we would have been able to summon it, so same shit. He sets a back row. We draw for turn. We just hit for 11. No reason to play into Torrential. Set Raikou, set 2 pass. Heavy Storm's now gone. I can call Titanial and just beat him that way. I draw Space Typhoon. I'm going to shotgun it. I'm going to call Titanial, sack for Caius, and then attack for game. So pretty straightforward game from us. Like I said, we kind of just opened the nuts, and we were able to apply pressure with Lone Fire and Caius. So really straightforward stuff. I think this matchup is probably really good for a quick draw. Like, this is probably one of the best matchups you could ask for quick draw. It's just a Raikou Caius deck that has trouble pushing through tokens. So yeah, it's kind of everything you want to face. Here comes Machina Gear Frame. Machina Gear Frame is going to search Fortress. I think the Machina Fortress deck is better suited at taking on stuff like Value Turbo or stuff like Black Wings, whereas quick draw is not so great in those. Well, I think quick draw destroys Value Turbo. But quick draw is not very good against Black Wings, so I think it just depends like which Raikou Caius deck you want to play based off the matchups you expect. I also think the Machina deck does a little bit better versus Hero Beat, but that matchup's still okay for quick draw. So we open up pretty good. I'm just gonna set Raikou pass. He's gonna pitch Special Fortress, which is fine. Summon Warrior Lady. He attacks with the Fortress here, and I'm like, I just don't really want to take damage, so I'm gonna blow up the Gear Frame. The back row we can kind of just play into at our own pace. As long as we're not getting super duper pressured here. He's going to attack for 15. My turn next turn is going to be like summon Breaker, pop something, try to trade with the Warrior Lady. So I'll just take the 15. I draw Torrential, which is pretty good too. like I said, as long as we just keep the monsters clear, we're kind of chilling. He has bottomless there, and now I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go for a quick draw dandy. He might not have his second bottomless, probably unlikely to have it, or he might have like torrential, or he might have whatever. He could have compulsory, which this deck plays a lot of, but at least this way it puts a token in play, and we force a compulsory now. So I'm just gonna pitch, banish the drill. I'm gonna keep both the torrential and the fader. We can always add the crow back later. Set the torrential pass, tax the token, tax directly. I decide to take the 25. He has a new back row, we draw, we're able to add back drill, get back dandy, and because this is secure, we're basically chilling. We can just make tokens and pass and chill forever. We don't want a torrential. We could have torrential on the token summon, but we don't want to play into Starlight Road, which he does have. So that's the reason we don't torrential here. Attack a token, yeah. And also if he summons another monster, we're probably not going to torrential either. He's going to dust shoot me on resolution, be able to take the lone fire, which kind of sucks, but whatever. We can still just do the same thing we did last turn, and we're in the same exact spot. He Typhoons a torrential, which is good, because now it no longer gives me a decision to fuck up and play into Starlight, which I might have done. Probably not. He attacks the 2 tokens. We are going to be able to add back drill, and now we can start to wall up significantly with Sangan. He could Warrior Lady banish the Sangan, but then it just removes even more of his pressure, and then we can start accumulating tokens, and then going for token Caius banishes, which is like exactly what we want. He attacks the token, tax the token, and then passes a turn. And here I think I make a mistake. Maybe not. I add back Raikou. I'm not sure if I should have added back Raikou here, but I think it's fine. I just pitch the tomato, set the Raikou, and then I don't foolish the dandy. I probably should have foolish the dandy just to make sure we don't die to some like shenanigans, but yeah, because he finds this, which I'm like, ooh, that's dangerous, but it's still 1 hit away from killing me, so he's going to hit Raikou. Raikou's going to have to blow up the Flamvel Urukizis. Once again, just hunt down the monsters. We can kind of ignore the back row and slowly poke at them when we're not being pressured. But keep the monsters out of play. He's going to attack over Sangan. Sangan's going to go get me Lone Fire. And then, of course, this is where it begins. This is where it all begins to go downhill. This is when I should have known that I should have stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. This right here. Draw for turn. Oh, what's that? The 1 card out of 23 that I didn't want to draw? Okay, that's cool. It's fine. I'll add back Cyber Dragon. I'll pitch that card. I'll special Cyber Dragon. Oh, you top decked the second bottomless? Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool. I didn't want that. I didn't want that to resolve anyway. So now we burn our foolish, kind of forced to. We die to Call of the Haunted here if he has it, because he can just call Flamvel Urukizis and Pierce us for game. He attacks the Lone Fire. Thankfully, he does not have that Call of the Haunted. We're able to bring back Drill, add back Caius. And here I fuck up. I shouldn't have brought back the Caius. I should have brought back Dandelion. And I should have gone to 4 tokens. And then slowly had a bunch of tokens here. But I was just scared of him top decking Call of the Haunted. Honestly, I was like tunnel vision on that when it's like 1 in 28 cards. Like, what are the chances he draws it, right? So I actually make a really big mistake adding back Caius here. I should have added back Dandelion. I pitch Banish. I go for Raikou. He chains Torrential, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I just die. If he has a way to bring back Fortress or a way to Synchro, I lose this game. And he does, unfortunately. And so I lose this game due to just like an incredible punt because I was tilted. I drew the Titanial. And then all of a sudden I make one mistake, and now, yeah, I'm just fucking bad. So we go to game 2. I didn't plan that turn out into potential Torrential, which I had been playing around the whole game. So, alas, here we are. Or game 3, sorry. Going into game 3, my hand is okay if I mill Dandy, but I don't. So now it's kind of like either mill Dandy or I lose. I decide to set 2 and set the Raikou. I kind of just have to mill Dandy at this point, and I need to keep pressure off. I'm not going to bottomless Gear Frame. I'll just trade Raikou with it. It's fine. He's going to attack. I'll just Raikou pop. Mill 3. Still don't mill Dandy, but I do draw a Lone Fire. So here's an interesting situation where having Dandelion access is actually so good for my hand, but summoning Titanial is just crazy good. It's questionable which you go for here. I end up going for 1 Lone Fire into Titanial in defense, but I'm not sure if this is right. I think it's possible it's right I go 1 Lone Fire into Dandelion in defense. I think that that's the correct play. Because he didn't commit anything else, I kind of read Gores, and he does have that Gores, so yeah, it was pretty accurate read there. No reason to play into it. We can play through it in the future turns thanks to Caius. He's going to pitch Special Fortress in defense. I'm going to bottomless. But because he's specialing it in defense, I'm not really worried about the second one either. He's just going to pass. We draw Judgment. I can set that if I want to, but I'm not going to because I want to Typhoon something. He top decks Warrior Lady, which, of course, he's going to be able to banish the Titanial here, but he doesn't switch the Fortress to play around Mirror Force. So a little bit scared there, and then we do find an Avarice. Thankfully, we draw something good. So we Avarice, leave Lone Fire. I'm not sure if it's right to leave Lone Fire, but I decided to leave Lone Fire over Card Trooper because Card Trooper is at least decent here because it can mill 3 towards hitting Dandy. Even though Lone Fire can get Dandy, I want to put Dandy tokens in play because then I can make Drill the same turn. I'm just going to set Sangan because Sangan can finally find us Dandelion. And what I should have done here was actually set the Solemn Judgment too in case he sacks Machina Fortress for Caius. If he has Caius here, I fucking lose, which is really annoying. But thankfully he doesn't have Caius or a second DD Warrior Lady off the top, and so we are going to be able to Sangan search. I've been thinking about the Machina deck more and more and more, and I think the deck should just like max Caius, max Warrior Lady, because those cards are so good in the deck, and they also make it so like the Blackwing matchup is unlosable. So I'm thinking like, yeah, just like triple Warrior Lady, triple Caius is like not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, we find Dandy finally, and he sets a monster, and then now we can just go for Drill finally. I am a little bit nervous here at Fossil Dyna, but we have Solemn, so we can potentially hold down the fort. The only issue is if he has Solemn plus, or not Solemn plus, if he has Dyna plus Heavy Storm or Dyna plus like Blind Typhoon on the Solemn. So I decided to set the Mystical to at least give him like a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the Solemn. He does find a Cyber Dragon and he is able to go for a Black Rose Nuke, but this does take his normal summon. So I'm okay with this. I just Solemn the Black Rose, and then on my turn, here on Resolution, I do DD Crow that Machina Fortress, so he can't bring it back to attack my Raikou. That would be really annoying. He goes for Pot of Avarice. Maybe I should have waited on the Crow, but at least this way it forces him to shuffle back his Plague, so I was like, it's probably fine to Crow now. He sets a back row. We have End-Phase Typhoon. It's going to hit Mirror Force. We're going to add back Drill. Drill's going to grab Caius. And in order to play around Gorge, we just attack with the Drill first. Deal 24. Raikou pop. Make another error here. I target the wrong thing. Should have targeted the token because banishing the Gorge is better both for Avarice and because it deals 1,000, obviously. But just misplays all around on my end. Banish the Drill, and now I'm actually in like a weird spot where I could randomly die. But thankfully, he doesn't have a way to randomly defeat me. I'm able to bring back Dandelion. Probably should have just added back Debris. Once again, just like making so many play errors this game. This was the first game of the day, but just like, man, I've been playing really poorly today. That's all I'll say. Anyway, I pitch Banish Drill because I just realized my mistake, and I just pass. He sets a monster. Drill comes back. Now I add back Debris, and now I can just pitch Banish Drill, go for Heavy Storm. He has Solemn, but we should be okay to win this one. Just bring back the Dandy, make Stardust, get 2 tokens, attack the set. It's Card Trooper. He gets to draw a card, pass the turn, bring back Drill, add back Caius, and that should be all she wrote. Sack for Caius, banish the back row, chain compulsory, whatever. His Mirror Force is gone. He can't stop 2 attacks, and that's going to be the match. But a really poorly played match on my part. I think I played this match like very, very poorly. Learn from my mistakes. The next match is where things begin to really slip away. I was already a little bit tilted because I was like playing so poorly, and I was like, dude, what's wrong with me? You guys ever make mistakes and you're just like, man, I'm better than this. Why am I making this mistake? And you got to take a minute to realize, like if you get tilted, just take a minute to realize like everyone makes mistakes, and everyone just like does dumb shit because our brains are imperfect, right? Like sometimes our mind is just elsewhere, or we're just clicking and we're not really focused. And it's good to like center yourself and just remember that like, our brains are imperfect. Even though like in a vacuum you should be making the right plays because you know them. Sometimes you're gonna make a mistake, especially in like a tournament game. And so it's good to just be able to recenter yourself after you tilt, unlike what I did today. Here I set 3. I set 2, Starlight and the Dust Tornado, and my opponent goes summon or trade and pitch Amarillis. And at this moment, when my opponent goes trade and pitch Amarillis, I start thinking to myself, oh god, I have never played this matchup before. And then on top of that, I also think this matchup is unwinnable. Like I'm thinking about it in my brain. I'm just like, how do I ever beat this deck? Like, this deck just destroys everything I'm about. Even Drill Dandy, they have like triple Wind Blast, Mirror Force, Torrential. Like, they have so many ways to deal with Drill Dandy, which is like the way you normally beat these sort of unfair decks. So I'm just sitting here like, I don't think I can beat this deck. He has Lila, and I'm just like, fuck me, I don't have Bottomless. So I'm just getting plussed on. He's gonna switch to defense. He's gonna end phase mill, hit 3 fucking plants. Oh, sorry, 2 plants, and be able to bring back the Amarillis. And now I'm just like, dude, my hand does nothing. Like, my hand actually does nothing. I draw Solemn Judgment, which is like one of the worst cards in this matchup because it's just so bad. It's like cost 4,000 life points. All of a sudden, you're 5 Amarillis pings away from dying. I've got to flip my Hamster, go get my Raikou. I've got to run over the Lila so he stops milling because every mill from this deck is pluses. It's free Amarillis. I attack over the Lila, and I'm just like, dude, I picked one hell of a day to load the deck with only one DD Crow in the sideboard. Bruh. I set 2 more, and then I pass. He switches. He attacks the Raikou. Very smart play here, forcing my Raikou, dealing me 800, and getting his Amaryllis basically guaranteedly back in the graveyard if I don't have Deep Prison, which I don't, obviously. Why would I draw Deep Prison versus this? So just 2 pluses from the opponent straight up. And now I've drawn Dust Tornado, Space Typhoon, Solemn, 3 dead cards. I've drawn Quick Draw and Debris with no side of Dandy. So I'm just like, bro, this is so bad. This is so bad. And I have a few plays. I have a play here where I can summon Debris, Special Raikou, make Trident Dragon, and then go for like a big Trident Dragon push. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should do the big Trident Dragon push. But I'm like, wait, I can wait till next turn. Maybe he switches his Amarillis and attacks me again. And maybe his set monster is Raikou, you know? Maybe I don't want to play my Trident Dragon play into Raikou, because Trident Dragon is like the only way I can really win this from this position. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attack the Amarillis. He's going to take 800. What I should have done was attack the set and just hope he doesn't hit the call. That's literally what I should have done if it is a Raikou. But I misplay, of course. I set the Typhoon, pass. He's going to summon Lone Fire. Of course, he's going to be able to set up Titanial here. And today I learned a very valuable lesson about reading your own cards when you put them into your deck. He's able to bring out Amaryllis. I'm basically forced to pass. I have Battle Fader now to hold on for another turn. I'm hoping to instigate him into flipping the Raikou if it is a Raikou. Turns out it's just this shit. He's going to be able to make Android search for Lone Fire. He's going to try to Black Rose me, which is such a smart play because it just like puts me at 0 cards. I'm forced to Solemn the Black Rose, and now I'm just like, bro, I have one opportunity to win this. I need to go for this Trident Dragon now, and then next turn top deck either an Avarice or a 3rd Debris, which is my only play. So I go for the big Debris, bring back Raikou, Synchro into Iron Chain, Call of the Haunted back Debris. I'm like, okay, I can pop Battle Fader, Call of the Haunted, and get 3 attacks. If he has Gores, fuck me, right? If he has Mark of the Rose, fuck me. There's just so many things that fuck me over here. And I activate Trident, and this is the lesson. This is the lesson. It says you can target up to 2 cards you control. I didn't think this shit targeted. I thought it just blew up 2 cards, up to 2 cards you control. I thought it was just like when you summon it, blow up to 2 cards you control. I didn't know it targeted. Straight up. I thought it just like blew up cards. And here he's able to negate the Trident Dragon with Titanial, and I'm just like, dude, how did I fuck this up? And I like reread the card for like a second. I'm just like, dude, I'm so tilted. I've been playing so poorly today. This card is so sick. I just wanted to show it off on camera, and I just like punt it into the graveyard in probably one of the worst matchups ever. He just starts off, or he has Lord Poison. I'm just dead on board. We have to go next. My opening hand is okay. I have Dinah, which is like a pretty good card in this matchup, but you know, it's just tough. It's just tough if he has a bunch of spot removal. I start off with set Dandelion, set Bottomless. He goes turn 1, Lone Fire into Titanial, but I do have Bottomless, so this is happening. I could have not used the Bottomless here. I could have saved it, but I figured I might as well use it. Like, it's probably chill. He just passes, and I'm like, what's stopping me from going, like, Dinah attack? Like, the only thing that really punishes me for that is, like, Mark of the Rose specifically, or Hidden Armory. And even that's fine. Like, he'll have to find a conversion for Dinah, which he most likely doesn't have. So I start with Dinah, and I just attack for 12. I set and then pass. I also figured if he had, like, Raikou or something, he might have summoned the Raikou to attack my set first. just as a way to preserve his Lone Fire Titanial play. He naturally has the Mark of the Rose, which does kind of suck, and I have to think about if I want to Mirror Force here, and I decide, fuck it, I don't really want to. The Dino's going to stick around, it's going to lock both of us, but it's better if it's locking me than it's locking him, right? He sets a monster and passes, but he actually did end up having the Raikou and decided to lead on Lone Fire for some fucking reason. We attack, and he blows up the Dyna, so... fine 2 for 2, but he does mill the Plague, which is really annoying, because it's like the only actionable card he could mill besides like maybe Necro Gardener. I set Raikou. He has DDR, of course. He's able to bring out the Lone Fire Sacrifice for Titanial, and he does have that Amarillis in the grave now too as well, thanks to his DDR. So just like fully set up pretty much. I decided to try and Raikou trade with the Titanial. In hindsight, I think it was still fine. I think it's still correct to do this. I might have wanted to save the Raikou to pop a back row. I think this might have been wrong. But it could be wrong. Anyway, I have Debris Dragon, but I don't want to go for Debris into Black Rose because of how easily he can just make Yugioh Guardian and run over my guy, right? So I decided to just set some cards, and he top decks fucking Breaker the Magical Warrior, and I'm like, dude, this matchup is so bad. He just has so many ways to pop my back row and like deal with my cards. He pops my Mirror Force, hits me for 16, attacks. I do get to banish the Amarillis, but I'm just in a bad spot. Thankfully, I top deck Lone Fire, so it's my turn to get Titanial going. And I'm able to attack over Breaker for 12. I can set the Torrential if I want to. I decide to. Probably shouldn't have, but he goes for Typhoon, and I'm like, this is fucking bait. He doesn't have anything to clear Titanial. He doesn't have anything. But he fucking does. He has Dandelion, and I have the Milled Plague. So of course I should have negated that. It was so dumb not to negate that Typhoon. That was so stupid of me. It makes Catastrophe. I'm just like, dude, any 3-star here makes Catastrophe. How could I not think of that? You know what I mean? Like, how could I not think of Dandelion being a card in hand that he's been sitting on the whole game? I just wasn't paying attention. And yeah, it's going to cost me a shitload here. I just have to summon Debris. And then on top of that, his last card is fucking Crow. So I'm like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. You have Crow too? And then I attack over a token, and I'm just like, okay, I have nothing, and my opponent has everything, and I'm just kind of getting owned. He can clear the Debris. Thankfully, we don't take any damage, but we do find another Debris. Our only plan now, though, because we did set the Typhoon to play around like his DDR, is to drop Fader and then make Stardust. And that's like not even that great. He mills 3, finds Lila. He's going to plus off the Typhoon anyway, but at least we still have our Debris and we can make Stardust. We drop Battle Fader. M-Face, he mills good again. Bro just stays milling good with this deck. And I'm like, dude, can I get a fucking break? Can I catch it break here? I draw Starlight Road, which is literally the most useless card in your deck after you summon Stardust Dragon. But alas, here we are, making Stardust Dragon. My Dandelion got banished. I don't even get fucking tokens here. I get to pop the ally, I guess. I have to pop the ally because Hidden Armory kills us here. Hidden Armory is just straight up lethal if we don't pop the Armory. So we have to. He top decks a back row, M-Face, he mills 3. Finally, he has a bad mill. I am able to run over the Lila. I have Foolish. I have to send the Dandy now and get 2 tokens. Because there's no other good targets in my deck. The second Dandy got banished. And I just don't want to draw another Dandy right now. So he goes sack for Titanial off the top. Of course, drawing the 1 card in his deck besides, I think, Lone Fire. I guess Hidden Armory also does it. But Hidden Armory also does it. Because I no longer have the Typhoon. He runs over the Stardust, and I'm just like, well, fuck me. M-Face is able to bring out Amarillis. I top deck Caius, which doesn't do anything here, obviously. He attacks the tokens, and now my Caius is just dead. M-Face, he brings out the Amarillis again, and I draw Crow. Too little, too late. GG's. I said I drew everything a turn late, and I kind of did. The Typhoon was on the wrong turn. Had I had it instead of had I had the Road instead of the Typhoon, it would have been so much better. Had I had had he not had the DD Crow when he had the DD Crow, it would have been fine. Had he not had the Mark of the Rose plus the Raikou specifically, I don't know why he would have waited on the Raikou, but I guess there's no real reason not to, or I don't know. I guess if you have Mark of the Rose, there's a reason to go Lone Fire Titanial first into a potential Raikou. I don't know. That was just a tough game, and I'm thinking about this matchup, and I'm just like, dude, this matchup seems really bad. Like, it just seems like such a bad matchup. I honestly don't know what you can do to deal with this. They have infinite time to get their grave set up. They have Titanial looping. They don't care about Raikou. They don't care about Caius. That's like a solid 8 cards out of my deck. They don't really care about Black Rose, so that's like all the debris stuff. They can just Mark of the Rose, steal Stardust Dragon. If I make Red Dragon, they can just Mark of the Rose, steal that. If I banish anything with Crow, they can just DDR it back. And then, yeah, the only way that I have to really win the game, which is Drill Dandy. Not only did I not draw it this game, but in the top half of my deck, which I think is just kind of unlucky to not see Quick Draw in the top 19 cards or so. But also, they just have triple Wind Blast, and post board, they even have Compulsory, which you're noticing here as well. So there's just even more ways to deal with Drill Warrior post board. So absolutely destroyed this match. Did not feel close. I did not play well on top of it. Like the game one, I just played terribly. That being said, I probably still would have lost the game one, but I'm not really sure. If I made Trident and then just didn't pop cards and then attacked over the Titanial, there's a chance I might have stabilized because I had Typhoon for Mark of the Rose and Dust Tornado for Mark of the Rose, and so I could have maybe stabilized, but it would have been really tough because I was just so low. You know, you just take a few hits and all of a sudden you're just like in Amarillis burn range. So after that, I was like, okay, I'm done playing Quick Draw. I'm going to build my own Amarillis deck because it just seems better than whatever I'm doing with Quick Draw. Because, you know, sometimes you tilt, when you play against something, you tilt so hard and you're like, I'm just going to build the deck that beat me because that deck looks broken. And why would I not want to play that deck? You know what I mean? So I build the deck, right? And in order to stay true to my inner self, I add a Quick Draw Synchron into it because there's kind of a couple of flex slots in this deck. I think you could have another Lord Poison, or you could have like there's a bunch of cards you could have that you can just like, you don't necessarily need to play Necrogardna. Like you don't need to play Call of the Haunted. I don't think is like amazing. Mirror Force is not necessary. There's a bunch of cards here that you could like swap in and out. Even Lord Poison, like you could technically go down to 10 plants. It's pretty low count on the plants, but you could technically do it. And then there's the one slot for the Quick Draw Synchron. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to play Quick Draw Synchron. And then I build a sideboard that, to me, looks decent. I'm like, okay, I have Solemn, I have Dashu, I have Sirocco for Black Wings, Vayu, I have Book of Moons for Vanities and Dinah, I have Fiend Comedian for graveyard decks like Frogs and Zombies, I have Magic Cylinder, I have Cyber Dragons. Let's go ahead and queue up and see what we face. And I play against Zudo-Q, and this is going to be the coolest part of the video. This might even be part of the video that I clickbait, because Zudo-Q's deck list is so damn fire. It is one of the coolest decks I've ever seen anyone come up with, and I am shocked that I didn't think of it myself. Like, that is how sick it is. It is like one of those decks where I'm like, wait a second, he cooked. This is peak gaming. And I've upon seeing his deck list, doesn't even matter how this game goes, I've already tilted because I want to be playing his deck instead of my own because it is so damn cool. Anyway, we do win the rock, paper, scissors, sometimes lucky. And you can see in his hand, he's got some cursed items, some very cursed items here, but they do work. Okay. Let him cook. All right. That's all I'll say is just let him cook. I'm not sure about the Dark Tinker, but let him cook with the rest of the deck. All right. So we get to go first. We charge. We do mill Dandy. So I start off with the nuts. I'm feeling like the goat. I'm Amarillis goat. I search for Raikou. I get 2 tokens. I normal Lone Fire. I sack. I special Lone Fire. Sack. I get Titanial. Normally you want to sack this Lone Fire because having an attack position 500 attack monster is a liability. But because next turn Lone Fire is so good, you kind of want to leave both of them in play. Because next turn, if one of them survives, if even one of them survives, you get to go for the second Titanial, which is so good in this deck. In other decks where you only have 1 Titanial, it's best usually to sacrifice the attack position Lone Fire, so you just don't take 1,000,000 damage. We pass. He just goes for the T set and passes. We draw Call of the Haunted, and I'm like, all right, I'm not really scared to attack into much. I'm going to go get Dandelion in case he has Torrential, and then I'm going to summon Lila and try and pop the back row. He doesn't Solemn, so I'm like, okay, based. I'm like totally set up here. I can just grab double Titanial. How do I lose? I attack the UFO turtle. The UFO turtle gets another one, and I'm like, all right, what can you do? What can you do with 1 UFO turtle? I'm going to set call and pass and mill 3. Now, he can crouch this UFO turtle, but it's going to at least take his battle phase away. He's going to go UFO turtle crash with Titanial. deal 1400 to himself, grab Arcane Apprentice, and I'm like, wait. Oh no. Am I going to randomly lose to this? And I'm thinking to myself, UFO Turtle get Arcane Apprentice or UFO Turtle get Lonefire Blossom is insane. How have I not put that two together? That is such a sick engine. That is so fucking based. There's got to be a really cool way to play this deck. Now that I'm like seeing it, I'm like, there's a way to play this deck that isn't involving Dark Ticker, basically. But this is so sick. He summons Lonefire. I don't have a way to stop this. So he's going to go into his Gigaplant. He's going to Synchro into Stardust Dragon, and he's going to search for the Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. Thankfully for us, we have Hidden Armory, which is a way to force Stardust Assault Mode, and he took that 1400 so we can go for game. But if he hadn't taken that 1400, and we didn't have Hidden Armory, like if one of those two things wasn't true, we would straight up lose here, which is kind of crazy. I'm like, wow, that's kind of nasty. That's kind of nice. His deck looks so cool, and I'm like, damn, that's fucking crazy. He sets the Assault Mode. He goes for the Assault Mode activate into Stardust Assault Mode. Now, what I would have done if I was him is I actually would have waited. After seeing we're basically playing Amarillis. The reason you know that is because double Titanium on the trade-in. You know Mark of the Rose is on the table, so you want to actually wait on the Assault Mode to activate here, just also because you're at 6,600 and you're facing lethal. So Mark of the Rose is like one of the only ways I can force Stardust to activate here. That's the only way. Stardust Assault Mode, that is. And you can use Assault Mode as a way to sort of negate the first Mark of the Rose. So what he should have done was hold the Assault Mode. I go to Battle Phase. I attack. That's when he activates the Assault Mode activate. He gets the 3000 guy. I can't do anything. It basically fogs me for a whole turn. And it gives him a chance to sort of claw his way back into this game. And if you look at what he has, the Silent Doom, the Gigaplant plus Bring Back Lonefire combo, he would have come back into this game. If he had just waited till the battle phase to activate this Assault Mode activate, he would have won this game, which is insane and super based. And I'm just thinking like, man, all he did this game was activate a UFO Turtle and a Lonefire Blossom. He's activated 2 cards, and he's beating my whole fucking deck. That's fucking crazy. That is so based. And I'm just sitting here like, what? His deck is so sick. But I get Giga lucky, and I mill Amarillis, and I grab Mark of the Rose, and he does make this, I think, slight play error, which comes, I think, with just not being knowledgeable of the Amarillis deck. He is going to be forced to negate this, and then we can summon the Lila and attack him for game. So that's going to be that. We go into game 2. I'm going to keep showing his hand because it's just so fucking cool. He's going to start off with set Nettles and set Phoenix Wing Wind Blast and pass the turn. We are going to set Sangan, set Torrential, pass the turn. He's going to sacrifice for Gigaplant. I'm going to Torrential, but he's probably okay with this because he just has all these Reborns to just go for his Gigaplant revival play. I'm going to search for Lonefire. He's going to set the Iron Wall now. Or no, he doesn't set the Iron Wall now. If I was him, I would have set the Iron Wall now, but he's playing around Heavy Storm, which is like fair enough. We're going to go Lonefire into Titanium. We're going to attack. He's going to take it, which I think is pretty cool, pretty smart on his part. He goes for swing. He's able to bring out the Gigaplant. He's able to bring out the Nettles and then Synchro into Blackbrute Drago, which is just a fucking insanely good card here. If I kill it, he just brings out Gigaplant again and just floats into it again. Basically, every one of his Silent Dooms is just a normal summon, 8-star Synchro. All of the best ones, too, including Blackbrute Drago, Stardust Assault Mode, potentially, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, this is like good Flamvel. This is like Flamvel, but you have 6 Rekindlings, and you only need 1 guy in grave to go for it. I'm like, that's fucking based. I need to build this deck. So I'm like looking at this deck, I'm like, geez, this is so cool. I'm just like, man, how do I win? And I'm like looking at my hand, and I'm like, my hand doesn't really do enough, right? Like I'm kind of backfooting here pretty hard. I could brain control his Blackbrute Drago, attack him for 3,000. Sure, that could happen, but then I have no way to get the Blackbrute Drago out of play. I'm forced to just like set Dandelion and then hope I can mark attack him again next turn. But the chances of me being able to do that are pretty low through 2 back row. So I'm like, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set the Raikou and try to just pop the Blackbrute Drago and stabilize. So this card says when, and then it says you can. So Raikou will make it miss timing. If Raikou does pop this card, it will make it miss timing. But at this point, I'm like, I'm not thinking about the potential of him having another Silent Doom. I'm also not thinking about the potential of him having real back row, like Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. He's going to go ahead and bring out the Gigaplant Nettles combo again, make a second Blackroot Drago, Wind Blast, pitching Malicious, putting my monster on top of my deck, and then hitting me for 6,000. And I'm just like, dude, I'm getting owned. Like, I'm straight up getting owned. He sets a back row, and I'm just like, I have to brain control and, like, try to game shot him with Mark of the Rose, but that's the only way I can do things. I go brain control, target Blackroot Drago. He lets that resolve. I'm like, okay, maybe I can at least force him to Wind Blast one of them, but either way, I'm still dead. I go for Hidden Armory. I mill Solemn. I search Mark of the Rose. On resolution, he flips Iron Wall, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do anything. I can't normal summon. I just have a handful of cards I can't play. I can't Mark of the Rose. I can't crash, because if I crash, he just gets to special summon out Gigaplant from his graveyard. And so I'm pretty much done here. I'm pretty much done, and we go to the next game, and I'm like, dude, how am I getting... I build a plant deck, and then I play against a better plant deck, and then I build the better plant deck I play against, and then I play against an even cooler and more based plant deck, and I'm just like, dude, I'm just getting owned. I'm getting better decked, like 5 games in a row. I just keep getting better decked today, and I'm just like, dude, this is so sick. I mean, it's sick because I'm getting destroyed by something so cool, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I gotta pull together. I gotta get a game win, because, like, I'm just kind of getting tilted, you know? I'm kind of like, oh, dude, how do I keep getting better decked? I go into Titanium, I'm like, all right, I'm big chilling. I'm going to trade in Titanium. And then at this point, I'm like, man, I should have Foolish Dandy. I'm just, like, fucking playing bad because I'm, like, thinking about his deck and, like, whether or not I want to hold Foolish for Amarillis and all this other dumb shit. Anyway, I end phase bring out the Amarillis. I pass. He sets UFO, and he sets a couple back row. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I draw for turn. It's Dust Tornado. I'm like, that's pretty good. I summon Lila, and he goes for Solemn. And I'm like, okay. Now you're at 4,000. I've got Magic Cylinder. I've got Phoenixian Cluster Amarillis. If I was him, I wouldn't have Solemn there. I would have maybe just let the Lila pop something. Honestly, I think that that's fine. Save the Solemn for my back row, and then make sure your counter push goes off. So I think that that's what I would have done if I was my opponent here. I think Solemning the Lila is just unnecessary. Like, what is Lila going to do? Pop an Iron Wall? Okay, you have another one. You know what I mean? Pop the Phoenix Wing. Okay, that card wasn't doing anything to Titanium anyway. The only thing that really matters is if it pops the Solemn. And that's a 1 in 3 chance. And it's just like, do you really want to pay 4,000 to stop this Lila when I have an active Amarillis? Maybe, because you do have the Iron Wall. Maybe. But who knows? Who knows, right? I switch. I attack with the Amarillis. I ping him for 800. He drops to 32. He grabs another UFO turtle. I decide to attack this one just because at this point, Cylinder is just game. Like, under anything. So he takes 1,400. He grabs Lone Fire Blossom. Main phase 2, I set Dust Tornado and pass. He activates Lone Fire Blossom, and he makes, I think, a play error. Or, to some degree, a play error here. What I would have done if I was him was I would have maybe just tried to Wind Blast one of these sets instead of Wind Blasting the Titanium, which is what he does do. He tries to Wind Blast Titanium. We can just negate it with Titanium. He can now normal summon Gigaplant. He hasn't normal summoned yet. Or he could normal summon Dark Tinker here. And he could make Thought Ruler Archfiend, which plays into my own Wind Blast. It plays into Deep Prison. It doesn't play into Mirror Force or Torrential, but you can kind of take that soft 50-50. And I think it's a smart play. I'm not just saying that because I know I have the Magic Cylinder set. I think just using the Gigaplant main phase 1, whether you're going to make Stardust or whether you're going to make Thought Ruler, is probably better. I think you do make the Synchro first. You make the Synchro, and then you out the Titanium if you're going to out the Titanium, or you go after the back row if you're going to go after the back row. But I think you make the Synchro first before doing all of this other stuff. I think that that's just, generally speaking, a better play. Alas, he does not go for the Synchro, and we are able to steal a win with Magic Cylinder. But his deck is sick. And I definitely will be building and playing this deck in the very, very, very near future. The deck looks awesome. It looks so much more fun than anything I've played in like the last few weeks. And I've got one more match with Amarillis for you guys because I decided to show off my losing spree. Pretty unfortunate, but yeah, I decided to show it off in its glory, in all its burning. Dude, just the worst matches I've ever played. I played so poorly today. I don't know what was wrong with my brain. Maybe I haven't been sleeping well. Maybe I haven't been eating well. I don't really know what it is, but I've just been playing worse than average. I start off with charge. I don't mill dandy. I foolish dandy. I have lone fire dandy to set up titanial. I'm going for the same thing I did last game. I'm just going to attack his set. It's pyramid turtle, and I'm just like, fuck. This matchup can't be good. I'm forced to pass. He has Krebins. He makes a misplay. Misplay number 1, he mind controls now. I can just negate this. Misplay number 2, he synchros into Yugioh and like doesn't steal the lone fire. I can't really get over Yugioh without crashing anyway. So you might as well steal the lone fire, right? And if I don't attack the lone fire, like let's say I crash with the Yugioh, or I find a way to out the Yugioh, you can just make Catastrophe with Plague and lone fire, and then I can't come back. So a couple of misplays from the opponent here, searching certain cards, but yeah, he just goes crash. I can just make another one. He should know based off of the Wind Blast and the Lila that I am playing Amarillis, more or less. He sets back row passes, and he should also know because I left the lone fires in play that I'm playing Amarillis. I'm able to go for Lila pop. It's Call of the Haunted. He gets another search, so pretty good situation for him. I can go for Drill Dandy. This is just showing off the power of Quick Draw. I feel like this deck sucks ass because like you just draw 5 bad cards, but Quick Draw kind of fixes it. So it's kind of a fixer of your bad hands. So it's not too bad. Sacrifice, grab Titanial, make Drill Warrior, hit for 24. I don't have to attack into Gores here for 28. I don't have to. Because he set Call of the Haunted. I don't think he has Gores, so I am going to attack for 28. And it does connect. And main phase 2, I don't know why I do this the way I do this, but here we are, basically. I'm going to pitch trade in to banish Drill Warrior. Now, I didn't pitch Plague because he can steal my Plague from my graveyard using like Doomkaiser and like ladder into Colossal. But in hindsight, I should have put the Plague in the graveyard just because it might be more useful, and Trade-in's obviously a better card in hand than Plague. And I don't think if he goes for Doomkaiser that I'm losing the game, because I have Drill. So I can just drill back whatever and just poke him with Drill infinitely. So we're chilling, right? I mill 3 and I hit Necrogardna and I'm like, okay, I'm safe. I'm safe. So I think that's misplay number 1, is I pitch the Trade-in instead of the Plague. He sets a back row, doesn't set a back row. He sets a monster, sets 2 back row. We bring back Drill. We add back Quick Draw Synchron. So this is misplay number 2. Why the fuck did I add back Quick Draw Synchron? I could have added back literally Lone Fire. I could have added back Lord Poison. I could have added back a Lila. Why the fuck did I add back Quick Draw Synchron? There was literally no reason for me to add this back. I just thought I was going to pitch whatever I drew or whatever I added back anyway. But then I realized, oh, this is just dumb. I'm going to attack. And this is misplay number 2. I just played around Torrential and I played into Mirror Force. But I'm like, if he had Mirror Force, he would have said it last turn, right? Like he wouldn't have. But no, he just has Mirror Force. So he's going to Mirror Force me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now that's chill. I guess I'll make a second Titanial here. And I'll Hidden Armory because I have a normal summoned. And I do get to hit a Phoenixian Cluster. So I'm like, okay. I'm kind of chilling. I can bring back Phoenixian Cluster. Mill 3. End phase, he changed the Amarillis, compulsion on the Titanial. And I'm like, okay, I'll add it back to my hand. And you can notice here that I am punished. I'm punished for all my decisions. Not adding back Lone Fire, not keeping the Trade-in, etc., etc. So 2 mistakes here just adding up really poorly. I pass the turn back. He summons Zombie Master. And this is the big mistake. This is the mistake that I definitely fucked up on. I forgot I milled Necrogardna, which is like, this is like a day 1 noob mistake. This is like something that like fucking, literally you hand someone a deck for the first time and they make this mistake. Like they've never read Necrogardna before. I am so bad. I literally don't negate this attack for fucking no reason. There's absolutely no reason why I don't negate it. I should have negated that attack. If I negate that attack, I guaranteedly fucking win this game. I just have Amarillis hit over Zombie Master. I deal another 1,000. He drops to 18. You know what I mean? I can DDR again. I can do multiple shit next turn, right? But I don't negate that attack. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, bro, now my Amarillis is negated. How do I win this game? He has another fucking back row. Bro has trap cards out the ass. Where did all these trap cards come from? I don't even know. Why did I add back quick draw? I don't fucking know. Just so tilting right now. So I DDR pitch the quick draw. I'm like, bruh. I bring out Titanial. I attack the Zombie Master. And he has a second compulsory. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? How has he found opportunities to resolve 2 compulsory versus the Titanial spam deck? I was just like, dude, maybe it was a mistake for me to add the quick draw here, like, to the deck. Even though it was so good and it, like, allowed me to get my position back. All right, I'm going to pass the turn. There's no way he should lose the game. He actually has lethal. He just punts it. But at this point, I'm dead lost. There's nothing I can do. I'm going to let it play out for you guys and just remind you guys to subscribe in the meantime. Please subscribe. You guys get to watch me mess up so that you guys don't mess up. I attack over the Zombie Master. Bro has Giga Lethal, and he just did nothing. And I'm just like, what? How could you? And then on his next turn, when he goes for the insane follow-up, I'm just like, why did you not just go for it last turn? Why did you make me go through this whole, like, song and dance of, like, stacking for Plague and shit? And I'm just like, how are you going to have multiple Book of Lives? And I'm like, bruh, okay, maybe I can stabilize somehow. I finally remember to use my fucking Necro Gardener, but alas, here we are. I top deck Titanial. I'm able to run over Revive King. Main phase 2, I can sack for Titanial, bring out Amarillis. I'm like, is there a sliver of hope through all of his misplays that I can get out of this? Maybe. I'll trade 800 damage here. But no, bro top decks the 3rd fucking Book of Life. Of course. Of course he top decks the 3rd fucking Book of Life. What? The only card that gets him out of this situation is Revive King Hades. And the only way for him to get his Revive King Hades out again is to top deck a 3rd Book of Life. I have Mark of the Rose. I flip Sangan to go for game, but now he has the Torrential that I was playing around the whole game. This was the most tilting experience where my opponent, like, fucking punted, like, multiple times, and I'm just like, bro, I cannot catch a fucking break today. I got owned by Assault Mode, I got owned by fucking Amarillis, and now I'm getting owned by Amarillis by playing Amarillis. I don't even get it. I attack with Raiko because I just need to get him down to 800 because my whole game plan here is just find Amarillis and pitch it to my trade-in. He draws for thing. He stacks for Plague. He can run over my guy, but instead he just has Brain Control plus Caius. He goes Caius, sack, target the Plague. This doesn't actually deal me lethal because Plague is banished by its own effect, so it doesn't deal the 1,000. Fun Edison format, stupid ruling. We take 2,400. We draw Torrential, and I'm just like, okay. You know what? I didn't deserve to win this game. If I can play every card in my deck and just forget to use the cards when they matter, I don't deserve to win this game. I don't deserve it. Some days you're just an undeserving player. You're just like, yeah, no, he deserved to beat me. Even though he played arguably just as bad as I did that game. And I was like so tilted after that. I just wanted out. This game, I open up with charge, and I misplay number 5 million this video. I don't charge for Aaron. I charge for fucking Raiko versus zombies. I literally sided in the Aaron so I could charge for it, and I don't do it. And I'm like looking at it. As soon as I make them play, I'm like, Of course I forgot. I'm going to set Sangan, set Heavy Storm. Maybe I can get something here. I sided in all of my defensive traps, but I opened with none of them. Bro has fucking Instant Fusion Caius, and I'm just like, well, shoot me. It's just Jover. It's just Jover. I didn't draw one of my 3 Wind Blasts. I didn't draw one of my fucking Bottomless. I didn't draw my Mirror Force, my Torrential. I didn't draw any of it. I drew Heavy Storm, Typhoon. I'm going to set Raiko past. If he has another Caius, I'm just accepting the loss at this point. I'm just like, whatever. I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm not going to pop the Caius. I'm going to go after the back row here because I'm going to probably try to steal the Caius at some point, or we could just ignore it by walling it. He sets monster passes, and I'm like, man, I should have searched the fucking Aaron, bro. I should have searched the fucking Aaron. I set Fiend Comedian. I set Dandelion. I'm like, please put more cards in your graveyard so I can get a good Fiend Comedian. But he doesn't. He just attacks the Dandy. I'm like, okay. Notice how what I've milled this game, I haven't hit a single plant or a single Amarillis. Do you remember my first opponent where his first mill was like Plague, and then his second mill was double plant, and then he had a DDR to pitch the Amarillis? I'm just like, bro, where's my fucking... I'm halfway through my deck. I haven't seen Amarillis or Titanial or Lonefire or any... Like, no engine. I go for Card Trooper, mill 3, just try to hit something. I hit 1 Titanial. I guess that kind of works. Next turn I can at least try to... Or this turn I can Foolish Amarillis, and then I can banish Titanial, and I can try to DDR out the Titanial, but it's just so bad. I draw into Trade-In, obviously not seeing Amarillis still halfway through my deck. I Foolish for it. I send it. I banish for it, but he has fucking DD Crow for it. And I'm just like, dude, give me a fucking break. Oh my gosh. I haven't dealt any damage with my burn deck He attacks my token, sets a back row. I go ahead and flip Fiend Comedian. I finally draw Lone Fire. Finally. But I still don't have a way to get through a set monster, which is super annoying. I also don't hit the right mill. I wanted the mill here and not banish, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I flip Heavy Storm. I sack for Titanium. I'm able to attack the Caius. I can't hit an Armory this turn because I had a normal summon. I attack the set monster to get it face up because I might want to mark it next turn. If it's Goblin Zombie, it might also mill me an Amarillis. But it's not. It's fucking Pyramid Turtle, of course. Set the Typhoon pass. He has Pyramid Turtle attack to Lone Fire. I'm just like dead. I'm like literally dead. I have Typhoon Heavy Storm against the opponent who had no back row the entire game. I have Hidden Armory, find DDR. I can DDR out Titanium. I can set up like a decent board here, but I mean, this just gets beaten by Colossal, which he can set up really easily. I have no outs. I also have no outs to what happens next, which is Black Rose Dragon, I think. I think he Black Roses the field. He goes for Typhoon, just a misplay. I'm always going to negate that. There's literally no reason for him to not do this. But he has Gale for the fucking Black Rose. And I'm just like, okay. And to kick off the saltiness, you're playing this fucking hideous. Never play the Altar Black Rose. It looks so bad. It looks so fucking bad. You literally, the only reason is justifiable for you to play the Altar Black Rose is if you can't afford or you don't have access to the regular art. This is Dueling Book. You can just click the regular art. Like, there's no difference. There's no difference. Bruh, so tilting. So tilting. He says, GG, well played. It was not. I did not play well. Neither of us did. This game was bad. This was a bad game. I almost feel bad showing you guys this game. Oh my gosh. I'm so unbelievably tilted. Anyway, leave a like. Come hang out, Xanadu, for my birthday. Come party. Come duel. It should be really fun. I'm excited that I get to play in one more tournament before the year's over, and it should be a really good time. I think they're gonna add more to the prizes if more people enter than the minimum thing or what. I don't fucking know. Just come hang out. See you guys there. Peace.